Hello and welcome back to the podcast. I am very excited to be recording this one because that means I'm recording it, I'm going to edit, I'm going to upload, and that means 2 consecutive weeks of uploads, which is nice because the consistency is something that I currently need in my life. Like, you have no idea. It's been up and down, it's been hectic, and as you know, last week was a public holiday on a Monday, and life just took the craziest roller coaster ride over the past week that I'm going to get into. As you can see, the topic of today's podcast is called Life Can Be Messy. This week has been a mess, and Sunday is generally a day that I feel is a restart. Sunday, I prepare for my week, clean everything out, clear everything out, wipe everything down, and just start fresh for the new week. I set an intention for the week, I plan out my week, I prep for my week on a Sunday, which is why I like to do any final editing and stuff on a Sunday. So I'll probably talk you through that process later because that's a whole other thing. That is what I like to do on a Sunday, and to kind of just clean up and cut off this past week. I think I just want to make a podcast about it because there is a lesson and a silver lining. Like everything and every week, there's usually something that I kind of learn. That is what this week has been, and I've learned something from it. Let's just go ahead with this mess that I'm gonna explain and then untangle and then clean and clear out. If that's up your alley, enjoy. This might get a bit lengthy, so I apologize, but I'm gonna try and keep it nice and short and sweet. Who am I kidding? That's not happening. This is a hot mess, so just listen and enjoy. Hopefully it'll give you a good laugh for your week, and that it doesn't get bad, because honestly things have gone down the drain. We've had load shedding this week, which is a whole other issue, and we've changed levels starting on Monday, the day this goes live. So there's a whole lot of implications when it comes to that. We'll definitely see what happens, but enjoy. So, as you know, last week Sunday was Mother's Day. We did not leave the house. My father did, because he went to my grandmother, who had a small fall and she was bedridden for a little while, but she's recovering nicely. But he popped in by her. No one else left the house. It was a very chill day. Monday was a public holiday, as you all know. That kind of makes the week short but quick. Like, suddenly, your Monday's on a Tuesday, your Wednesday came too quickly, Thursday's there, and before you know it, it's Friday. It shortens your week so crazily that it actually doesn't even feel like a full week. However, I put in a leave day for Thursday. The intention for that was to take my mom out, get some things done that she needed to do, and then come back and have the rest of the day to myself. Spoiler, that didn't happen. But before we jump ahead, Monday was the public holiday. I put in leave for Thursday, and I had all sorts of plans and intentions for that day. Because literally, if you think you could just sprinkle a day to yourself in the middle of the week, you already have plans for that day. Like, you are chock-a-block full with all the plans and things you have set for that day. Duh, that's what you do. It's your day off, and you're getting paid for it, which is even better. So I've been planning this day off for about a week because I had to ask, obviously, for a leave day, get it in writing, get it approved, all that kind of thing. I was still waiting for confirmation of my leave day by Tuesday, which is cutting it close, boss man. Like, really? But yeah, that is what happened, and I had to apply for the leave. I was eventually granted leave. Tuesday evening I planned my Thursday, but once again, getting ahead of ourselves. Monday, public holiday, starts off great. Have a chill morning, and by 12 I'm like, guys, I want to go to Typo for a diary, because every year I buy an annual calendar and they give you like discounts for the year. And I was cleaning up the morning because it was a public holiday. What else am I going to do? That's like what I love to do. I love cleaning my room, clearing it, doing everything that I want to in terms of getting it the way I want it. I always tweak something every time. Like, literally a few podcasts ago, I told you how I rearrange things to try and just bring up my vibes, and it's been working. So I wanted to keep on that momentum. I was cleaning up. I found my sheet with all my vouchers because obviously it's been locked down. I haven't used them. And I found this month's one to be a discount of 30% on diaries. I love a good sale. I love a good discount. I was like, it's a day off. I'm going to go. I'm going to buy the diary. I'm going to come back. It's going to be fine. And I did this at about 12:30, somewhere there. I came downstairs and I was like, I'm gonna go to the shop quickly. I just want to get this thing by typo and then I'll be right back. And my mom's like, why don't we just all go out? I mean, my father and my brother aren't here. It's just us girls. We won't be long. I mean, you can get that thing. I just want to pop in by this store. Like, we won't be that long. It's cool. Big mistake, by the way. I was like, sure, why not? 1 o'clock by the time we finally decide everything. And then we leave the house close to, I think, 2:30, 3 o'clock. And that's already like the day's over. You're done. Nope. That's when we leave. I kid you not. We either leave like 2:30, we get to the mall by 3, because obviously we have to lock up, we have to pull the cars out. It's a whole thing. That's what we did. We are gone for hours. So we leave the mall, I think, about 6-ish, maybe 6:30. We get home close to like 7. And because it was so late, we ended up getting takeaways. And because everyone wants something different, we had to go to different takeaway places. And we ended up waiting for a while. It was not fun. Everything that I had planned for the rest of my afternoon, like I said, I just wanted to get the typo, get the diary, come back and be done with it. Did not happen. I did get a bomb diary for cheap. I will post a picture when I get my social media sorted and I'll show you guys it. But, it's so lovely. I'm so excited for it. But the exhaustion of that entire thing, not fun. I still wanted to do certain things by the time I came back home, which obviously never got done. And I was exhausted by the time I went to bed, which did not help because the weekend had been crazy with Women's Day on Saturday when we went out as well. I had to work the next morning and I was exhausted. That was Monday. Tuesday comes. It's crazy at work because it's been a long weekend. So I'm fielding calls from like 8:30. I'm dealing with so much work overload. And then I get approved for my leave day for Thursday. So I'm busy trying to sort out things for that day. So I'm just like, Mom, leave is approved. I need to do these things. You said you needed these things. Make sure your stuff is ready. We need to leave early to get it done because I have plans for the end of the day. Like all those kinds of things. And she was like, okay, cool, we can do that. It's no problem. It was a problem. Trust me. It was a problem. So, once that was sorted, essentially we needed to go to the bank and do things. It's, you need your paperwork, your copies, your everything. So I said, it's Tuesday. I've been approved for leave. Get your stuff ready for Thursday. There was also a lady that she knew that works there that gave her a number. So she got priority because my mom is older and able to get those things. So that was the plan. And that was all sorted. Spoiler, it wasn't sorted. Wednesday comes along. I'm trying to get through everything that I didn't get to on Tuesday. Handle Wednesday's workload and make sure everything is done and ready for Thursday. Because I don't want any reason to have any leave I take in the future to be, not approved because of something that happened. Like, I'm not sure what reasons you can be denied leave, but this was literally my first day for the whole year that I've been working since February actually, that I've taken leave. So I didn't want anything to tarnish my reputation at work that could allow me to not get approved leave the next time I need it. So I wanted to make sure everything was done, everything was ready, everything was clean and clear for Thursday when I wasn't there. So I got my work done, everything was perfect when I left, it was fine. I'm working from home, by the way, so someone else is going to take over all my digital things. And then I was prepping for Thursday. What I had been doing this past week was trying to wake up earlier so that I could do a bit more journaling, reading, study time and things like that in the morning, because my brain functions work-wise better in the morning and creatively better at night. That's something I've figured out. Sometimes I just get a brainwave and run with it, and I get it out, but early evening and evening is best for my creativity, which is when I generally write podcasts, write my stories and things that I work on. And the morning for me is better work-wise for reading things, taking things in, all those kind of mental things that you need. And I thought, I want to do that for myself because I don't want to be giving my important energy for other people that aren't worth it. And I mean that not in a bad way. I don't want to waste all my energy and effort on someone who's not A, worthy of it, and B, not reciprocating, and giving me that value back. I want to use that energy on myself first thing in the morning and not use it on work, if I can put it that way, because you have limited decision making energy for the day. You have, limited patience and strength and all those kinds of things, and you essentially want to use that for yourself as opposed to other people. That is what I wanted to do this week. So Thursday being a very good day to actually push that was really something I wanted to start and roll over into my Friday, my Saturday, my Sunday, and then obviously this coming week, the Monday. I got up, I had all my things ready because I have about 3 books I needed to skim through for information. I had YouTube videos lined up that had information on that I wanted to watch and summarize and such for myself. I had my journal slash dream journal slash diary slash morning pages, whatever, there with me. I have a notebook that I got a type of, like, everything was ready. And then family Mageddon hit. Okay, I got up, I made myself some jungle oats, tested my sugar. The crap hit the fan after that because I wanted to make myself a dolce gusto and frothed milk, and everybody else needed, and they apparently couldn't make it themselves, so I had to make it, and that took me forever. After that, I wanted to sit and work. I had constant bombarding things going on. So my brother had a meeting in the morning, so I had to like whisper talk. I wanted to take a picture and the lighting was terrible of my coffee. Everything was just not working out. I eventually got what I needed done, sat down wanting to journal. That didn't work because my mom kept trying to talk to me, my sister kept trying to show me TikToks. Like, I couldn't be left alone, and if I walked away, it's all sorts of chatter of, oh, you ungrateful, you walk away, you don't want to talk to me, you just want to hide in your room all day. Like, no, I get peace and quiet there. Like, that's all I wanted. But no, that did not happen. I essentially wrote utter nonsense in my journal, and I just ended up giving up and just being like, you know what, I'm gonna do this later. I stopped that. I made myself some toast, and then I left to get dressed because we had decided my sister's staying with my brother at home, my mom and I are leaving. Might as well go there because it's near a mall, so we're gonna get there early, have breakfast, go for the appointment at the bank, and then come back home. I do my things, my mom does her things, might even pop by a grocery store, pick up some things, and then, have the rest of the day to myself. This did not happen. The time period was between 11 and 12 for the appointment at the bank because they needed to obviously finish off with whatever client they were busy with. We had a time frame for going to this appointment, which was 11 to 12. What happened was we were going to go for the breakfast, which I mentioned. We didn't get there because by the time 11 o'clock rolled around, Mom was not ready to leave, meaning we did not leave until much later. We left late, which obviously had a rollover effect on everything for the rest of the day. The plan was to leave about 10-ish and then get there by about half past, eat for about a half an hour, well, maybe an hour, because we weren't like starving. It was just a snack and a coffee, and then off we go. Be out there by 11:30, make it before 12. The place wasn't that far, so maybe quarter to 12 we'd be sorted. That way we'd already have eaten something, we good. Did not happen. Got there before 12, spent about 20 minutes waiting, which honestly, what was the point of making an appointment? Took more than an hour to sort everything out, which ended up not being what needed to be done. And then we left. We ended up going to a different store afterwards, and it was a giant warehouse kind of a store. It took 40 minutes maybe. Not fun of me waiting, and by this point my sugar has dropped because I haven't eaten since, I don't know, maybe 9-10 o'clock, and at this point it's like 2 o'clock. So that just gives you an idea. So it's after 2, and we in a place very far from our house. It takes like 30 minutes to get there. And that may not seem like much, but it is. We're on our way home. We call my siblings, ask if they ate. They had breakfast, but not lunch. So we were like, okay, we'll get takeaways. And I've been trying to eat better because I want to take up a yoga challenge and start getting my fitness right. I've already started drinking my almond milk again, being more restrictive with my intake of caffeine, trying to be more just healthier overall. and not just in one specific way. So mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, in terms of what I'm eating and consuming. I've also been a lot more careful with the things I watch and read and just take in, whether it's intentional or unintentional. So it's definitely that I've been trying to get better as a whole, and takeaways is not part of it. Especially because over the Women's Day weekend, I had takeaways on the Monday and we had takeaways on Saturday. So I was like, that's enough, thank you, we good. Apparently not though. So we got takeaways. My mom went to a shop while I was buying the takeaways, and by the time we got home, it was like 4:30. Now that's a long time from when I estimated I would be home. And by the time I got back home, I basically inhaled my food. I can't even remember what it tasted like. I can't even remember exactly what I ate, because it was basically just to eat something because I was shaking by that time. And then it was unloading the groceries my mom bought and helping make supper. And before that, the night's over. And I was not happy that my day felt wasted in that way. And the week wasn't even over. I woke up the next day exhausted. It was Friday stress because Friday we hand in our reports that we need to do. Not to brag about what a good worker I am, but I had a lot of mistakes to fix from a coworker who had taken over. And the fact that she constantly SMS'd me and WhatsApped me the Thursday was actually annoying. To the point of, I already explained these things. You've been working here much longer than me. How can you not handle these tasks? Like, it's nothing new for you. And then I still got blocked out of an account that she had changed the password to, which was a whole other mess I still need to sort out this coming week. But she just made so much more problems for me than it was actually worth. And it actually made me regret the day even more, because I don't want to have to go through this experience, take a leave day, not get to do what I want, and then feel my day is wasted, and still have to go back to work the next day and have things be as bad as they are. That's not fair. But life isn't fair, so you gotta just take it as it comes. Saturday brought no more work stress, but home stress, because there was a problem with the geyser, and my brother, sister, and father spent the afternoon fixing. And the thing is, they had left the house early in order to go find the right parts and things to fix the geyser with, but I had also been up early. So when they left, I was already starting to clean up around the house and things. I love the vacuum. I was doing that and all sorts of other things. So by the time they got home the afternoon, I was exhausted. I had just finished eating by the time they pulled up, and they had brought their own lunch, so obviously I wasn't going to eat that, but they ate and then they started working, which was cool. I didn't have peace and quiet to do the work that I wanted to do in that time, because there was drilling, there was knocking, there was shouting, there was just a lot of other noise that distracted my focus and caused me to not be able to get my work done. I did try and sit and write out the podcast and things like that, but it did not work at all. But that was my day on Saturday. Sunday, which is actually today, has not been better, maybe quieter. Like I said, I like to cut my days off by Saturday and then start fresh on Sunday. So I'm actually just, as my mom says, turning the dial and changing it up and making it positive so that I can kind of just put this week behind me. And it's been a mess of a week. So I've actually spent a little bit of today planning the next few podcasts. I already feel better about it because the consistency of last week and this week is already motivating me in all sorts of ways. I have actually another podcast that's ready for editing. I have a couple that are ready for recording, and I'm going to definitely be uploading consistently. I'm getting my social media ready because I want to start that hopefully by 1st September, which is the spring day, which is obviously the best day ever. I definitely want to start getting more consistent and more focused on my podcast as a creative outlet, which I definitely use it for. And I think that being able to clear out this week is just gonna be amazing, which is why I'm actually feeling much better even just speaking about it, because life gets messy. It's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be the highlight reel on Instagram that you see. Looking at it and seeing the mess that we've made actually makes us realize what we've done and how much we've actually done, and gives us a brand new perspective. With this past week, I'm looking at it like this. There are people taking up my time, making me do things I don't want to, and that is the parameters that I need to change. I need to fix my boundaries so these people don't overstep. I need to make things clear to people. For example, I need to put a boundary in place that if I say we leave at this time, we leave at this time. If you aren't there, that's your issue, not mine. But I did make it clear, and if you don't like that or don't want that, then we discuss it before time and change it and make it better for both of us or all of us or whatever. But I can't have you doing that, because I have a terrible anxiety about being late, especially when I have to drive to a place or there's an appointment or a deadline. My anxiety spikes. It messes up my blood sugar. It messes with my blood pressure. It just messes up a lot of things. And you knowing these things about me and still disrespecting it in that way, by being late, by not being prepared, by ruining it in that way, is an issue that we are going to have. It's disrespectful in so many ways, and it shows that you don't respect me after going through all this effort for you, and that you is not just aimed at one person in particular. There's a whole bunch of other things in there. Take the lesson and change things so that if it does happen in the future, you can be like, hold on, we've been through this. This happened the last time. I don't want that to happen this time. So let's make a plan and make it better. That's one way of going about it. Another thing that I would take a lesson from is that I need to make time for my needs. I plan to record a podcast and edit it so that by the time the weekend rolls around, half of it, maybe 3/4 of it would be edited. That did not happen at all. So I need to make sure that if I am taking a day off, or even just on a normal day, I'm carving out time for myself, my needs, my wants, and making sure that I let others know I'm unavailable. That is not something that is a must. For me it is, because the laptop I use to edit and actually record now these days is communal property. It's one that we all use. So it's common decency at this point to let other people know that I'm going to be using it. It's going to be occupied. If someone needs to use it for work or a project or something, I completely understand. But if I want to be on it, I'll be like, can I use it for this, or can I use it for that hour, or something like that, because we did have a fight about it previously. So it's just about being courteous to others, as it is something that is not just mine and it's shared property. Looking at your mess also can kind of help you see what you actually want to clean up and what you don't want to. I mean, having a toxic friendship in your life and just looking at it and being like, this is a hot mess, I don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole. Maybe it's best to just let this person go and mess someone else's life up and hopefully fix themselves in the process, That's fine. Seeing that I've made a mess of my podcast and not been able to fix it yet has made me just go for it aggressively, to the point where I'm happy to be 2 for 2 in terms of uploads. So it's about looking at it and seeing, what are you actually going to pick up and fix and piece together? What are you going to sweep away? And what are you left with at the end of the day that you actually want? Because sometimes, you pick that friend up. If we go back to the toxic friend example, you can pick this person up, you can dust them off, and you can, make them halfway decent. But at the end of the day, you need to look at it and be like, is this person someone that I value and I get that value returned? Does this person want what's best for me, and do I want what's best for them? Is it something that I want to put effort into at the end of the day, and am I having that effort given back to me? Because it's a two-way street when it comes to these things, You can't just be thinking one way and not the other. So you need to give and you need to get. You can't just keep giving of yourself. You're going to run dry. And that's where you need to figure out, where are you going to put your effort in once you've seen everything laid out. With me, was it worth suffering through? And you can ask yourself, is this friendship worth suffering through? Is doing this thing worth suffering through? For me, was it worth taking my mom out? From my perspective, no, not really. Did I get something out of it? Very little. Like very little. So for me, I don't think it was that worth it. For my mom, yes, she got things done at the bank she wouldn't have gotten done otherwise. She went to the store, she got another couple things from other places, she saw things that she needed, she made notes of it, she's gonna go back next week. Like, she got a lot done. I didn't like taking leave for a day where I didn't get what I wanted done. This would be a whole different podcast if I had gotten things done on that day that I wanted to. I would be saying life is brilliant when you plan or something like that. Because, I planned the morning, I planned the day, I planned my afternoon, but none of it happened. And that made me feel like it was wasted. So the day I felt was wasted. If I had done things better and been more aggressive in asserting my boundaries and the rules around this whole thing, I think it would have been better. But I now know for the future how to go about it. That's kind of the lesson out of this whole thing. Yes, life can get messy and it will do so. But cleaning up that mess can reveal treasures you never knew existed. It's like that old saying of one man's trash is another man's treasure. Because not all the messes you make in your life are completely of your own doing. So you never know what you're going to find, Clean it out. That is essentially the end of the podcast. And the song of this week is one that I love. It's called If a Silver Lining by Panic at the Disco. It's also just called Silver Lining. So I definitely recommend listening to it if you haven't already. If you aren't one for swear words, try and find a clean version. But it's a brilliant song. And the main thing of the song is the message of it and also the lyrics that say, if a silver lining, it's only you. Because to me, those lyrics mean that you need to clean up your own mess, you need to take responsibility, and you need to make the best of a bad situation. Also, the song is about working hard and getting what you want and seeing your name up in lights, like Beyonce. So, that is it for this week. I hope you have an amazing week. And if it's not, if it's a messy disaster, find the silver lining in it and just slay. Just slay this week. Okay? Love you. Bye.